Hello and welcome to episode 72 of the How to Survive podcast. This week we're covering Rogue One, a Star Wars story. If you haven't seen it, it's in the cinema. I'm sure you've heard of it at least. We're going to spoil it by talking about it at length during this episode, so now's your chance, your final chance to turn off before we do that. If you've got any thoughts on how you'd survive Rogue One, or any of the films we cover, the email address to get in touch with us on is howtosurviveshow@gmail.com, or you can reach us on Twitter anytime at howtosurvivepod. Be sure to recommend us to any of your friends who love podcasts. The more the merrier when it comes to survival. We need numbers. Next week we're covering a 1997 production. What film could that be? Oh, it's set in space. It's about a spaceship that gets off course and then comes back sometime later and everything's not what it seems. Sound familiar? Of course it does. It's Event Horizon. It's available on Netflix, so go and see it and check back next week for thoughts on that. Without further ado, on with the show. Space, the final frontier. These are the voyages of the starship How to Survive, making our way across the galaxy, picking out films almost at random to boldly watch films nobody's watched before and talk about how we would survive if we found ourselves living in those films. Alright, Chris.
Hello. Nice little Star Wars intro there.
Yeah.
Referencing, of course, Star Wars, the original series.
Yeah. Who was your favourite Star Wars captain?
I think it was Captain Janeway, and I like the little spin-off about her in prison.
Yeah, that was good, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I like Dumbledore.
Yeah?
Yeah.
He's good, isn't he?
He's good.
Yeah,
and I even like the part where he went around, that one episode when he went around with the little guys.
Yeah, Middle England.
Yeah.
So what are we talking about this week, Joe?
This week, Chris, I'm glad you asked, is Rouge One, a Star Wars story.
Good, yeah. Interesting. Just come out in the cinema.
Yeah.
Looking forward to discussing it.
Have you seen it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you?
Yeah. Sadly. We'll talk about that.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're going to spoil it, so, highest grossing movie of the year, probably.
Yeah.
So you've probably seen it.
Yeah.
So I'm not even going to warn you there's spoilers coming.
Oh, they steal the plans for the Death Star. Oh, sorry.
They'll
I
die.
spoiled it.
Oh,
no.
God.
Oh, shit.
Do you have a good Christmas there, Chris?
Yeah, it was very good. Yeah, wonderful.
What did you get?
I got a lukewarm retreading of plot points that I've already internalised from one of my most beloved film franchises.
What was that?
That was Star Trek, a Rogue One story.
Let's throw on with the plot of this movie.
Yeah.
Which we have to do because we are a podcast about new films.
Yep.
Rogue One tells the story of Jyn Erso, a young girl whose father is Galen Erso, an important weapons researcher for the Galactic Empire, who has gone into hiding. The movie begins when Galen and his wife Lyra are found by Orson Krennic, the director of advanced weapons research for the Imperial Fleet. Krennic tries to convince Galen to come quietly, but Galen will not do so Krennic kills Lyra and captures Galen.
Oh no.
Jyn hides in a cave until she is rescued by Saw Gerrera, who raises her as a fierce rebel. Years later, Jyn has been captured by the Empire.
Right.
Yeah, and she's working in an Imperial labour camp until she's promptly freed by a group of rebels led by Casian Andor and his assistant K2SO, an Imperial enforcer droid who has been reprogrammed by the Resistance.
Yeah, to have a sort of wacky personality.
Yep, best character in the film by country mile.
Yep.
Cassian tells Jyn that the rebels need to locate her father, who is working on some kind of terrifying, world-destroying weapon. Wonder what that could be. She says she doesn't know where he is, but there's someone who might. Saw Gerrera, the man who raised her.
Oh yeah.
So Jyn,
him again,
Cassian, and K2SO travel to Jeddah, which is a populated moon. Jyn and Cassian head to find Gerrera and soon find themselves in trouble when a group of insurgents, who are followers of Gerrera, attack a passing convoy of Imperial stormtroopers. Jyn and Cassian join the fracas, killing a number of stormtroopers. They're then saved by K2SO, who appears, shoots some people, and then returns to the ship again.
Yeah.
Obviously, the budget was running low.
Yeah.
A final wave of attack from the stormtroopers is halted by Chirrut Immu, a blind warrior monk who is the disciple of the Force, and his partner, Baze Malbus, who is very handy with a laser gun.
Do you know what's funny is that at this point in the synopsis, like it honestly could sound like you're like finding out about this for the first time.
Me?
Yeah, just because, it's rubbish, isn't it?
What, trying to work out the name?
Carry on.
Baze Mel. You got a problem with Baze Malbus?
And Chewit Imu, or whatever his name is. Carry on. Star Wars.
After the battle, Jyn, Casian, Chewit, and Baze are all captured by Guerrera's rebels, and Jyn is taken to Guerrera. Guerrera shows Jyn a holographic message from her father, which claims that he has built a flaw into the super weapon, which he calls the Death Star.
Yep.
Before they can discuss the implications, Grand Moff Tarkin, aboard the Death Star, has ordered Orson Krennic to show him how the weapon works. Would you believe it, Chris? The weapon is locked onto Jeddah, where all of our heroes are currently located. Luckily, Jyn, Casian, K2SO, Chewit, and Baze all escape, along with an Imperial defector named Body Rook, who delivered the message from Jin's father.
Yeah. This is worse than the Hunger Games, isn't it?
Yes.
For names.
Guerrera dies in the ensuing blast. Bodhi, or Body, I don't know how it's pronounced.
Probably Bodhi.
Yeah. Bodhi takes Jyn, Casian, K2SO, Chewit, and Baze to another planet where Galen, Jin's father, is currently conducting his research.
Yeah.
Unbeknownst to Jyn, Casian is under strict orders to assassinate Galen.
Okay.
All of which is a moot point, as the Imperial forces arrive almost immediately and begin shooting Galen's staff. A subsequent airstrike from the rebel fleet kills Galen, and he dies in Jin's arms, but not before telling her to go to the planet Scarif, where the Death Star plans are held.
Yeah.
Despite some largely inconsequential bickering from the Rebel Alliance about her proposed plan, Jyn leads a group of rebels to Scarif to recover the Death Star plans. The group consists of Jyn herself, Casian, K2SO, Chewit, Baze, Bodhi, and some others. Once on the planet, Jyn, Casian, and K2SO dress up as Imperial guards and begin to explore the headquarters of the Imperial military.
Sure.
The rest of the team heads around the island and begins setting off bombs which draw the entire planet's stormtroopers away from the headquarters. All members of the team die in a variety of explosions over the next 25 minutes.
Yes.
K2SO gains Jyn and Casian access to the data bank where the plans are held, but he's destroyed in the process.
Yeah.
What a shame. That's the film over.
Touching.
The two are forced to climb a tall shaft to safety, but are headed off by Orson Krennic, who shoots Casian.
Yeah.
Jyn climbs to safety, and thanks to some smooth work by the rebel pilots working to destroy the planetary shield in the stratosphere, she's able to broadcast the Death Star plans to a rebel vessel. Krennic accosts her as she plots her escape, and just as he's about to shoot her, he is shot in the back by Casian. As Jyn and Casian embrace on the shore near the facility, Grand Moff Tarkin uses the Death Star to destroy the planet, and they all die in the blast. Meanwhile, the rebel fleets are tearing across space with the plans for the Death Star.
Yep.
They're headed off by a man called Darth Vader.
Oh?
Yeah, he comes aboard and kills everyone with a lightsaber. Doesn't he?
Yeah. Is he the one played by Patrick Stewart? Yeah.
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 With the mask.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's the one.
Is he a Borg? He's a Borg, isn't he?
No, he's the one who's got the long tongue that eats the flies.
Right.
And he goes, "Ooh, he's that guy."
Okay.
I think he's that. He's got a mask on in this scene. So
yeah.
It's hard to say.
Makes sense.
Darth Vader comes and kills everyone. But the plans for the Death Star escape onto another ship. And on this ship, they are placed in the hands of an unnamed woman who turns to the camera and someone says to her off screen, "What is it?" And she says, "It's hope."
It's A New Hope. It's episode 4, A New Hope.
This is episode 4. This is Star Wars, episode 4, A New Hope.
Yeah.
So, that's that. Enjoy it?
Yeah. I want to talk about something that I think is at the core of the film, right off the bat, Joe. That's the uncanny valley effect.
Okay.
Where something looks human, but it's missing some sort of characteristic that makes them a convincing human presence, right?
Okay.
So it's almost like they're lacking in soul, or something similar, and it makes having any sort of connection to them on screen as an on-screen presence quite difficult, which is a problem because it feels almost like they're not displaying their emotions correctly, or like perhaps with as much sort of physical honesty as you'd expect from a real personality. And of course, I am talking about Jyn Erso, the main character of Rogue One: A Star Wars Story. Because she is very, very wooden indeed.
Yeah. She's not given much to do.
I think they must have built her from sort of archive footage with CGI over the top.
Archive footage of just like the plastic masks of the stormtroopers.
She's not given a lot to do, no. And Felicity Jones is a very good actress. Like, very, very good. She won an Oscar, or was nominated for an Oscar for The Theory of Everything?
Yeah, I think so, sure.
So, like, she's a top quality actress. Okay, that's not in dispute. So I assume she's been sort of directed to be like, stoic and, tough, basically, not wear emotions on her sleeve. But the result is that she comes across as like bland and like vacant the whole way through the film.
Because that only works if it looks like you're trying to hide something.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
A few days ago we did Die Hard. We released that. And he's meant to be brooding and, sulky.
Yeah.
But it works because he's also, obviously he cares.
Yeah. But also like a point, perhaps a more apt point of comparison would be Holly Jyn Erso in Die Hard.
Yeah.
Where she's, not giving the game away that she's related to John McClane.
Yeah.
Like she keeps stony faced and doesn't wear her emotions on her sleeve, her fear for John and all that sort of thing. And it's just weird. We watched this film opening night, right, of its release. Last year we watched The Force Awakens on opening night of its release. I remember leaving The Force Awakens feeling like my inner child had life breathed into him, and I felt like a kid again. Like we talked about it when we discussed the film. I left this film like at the end of the credits came up. Princess Leia said, "Oh, it's a new hope they've given us." And then the credits come up, and like people were applauding.
I know,
and I was like, "What?"
It's
like watching a different film to them.
Yeah, I don't understand it because I've spoken to people as well, and they said it's better than Force Awakens. It's a really good Star Wars movie.
Yeah,
it's not. It's not a good movie.
No, I don't think it. Yeah,
if it didn't have the Star Wars label, you wouldn't be sat there saying, "Oh, it's not even like it's a very mediocre sci-fi movie."
Yeah,
I'd say.
Yeah. Well, should we sort of nail down the exact things that we think are good and bad about it?
Okay.
Because otherwise it just sounds like we're being contrary.
All right, what's a high point for you?
Right, well, I think when I was going into it, and obviously I had heard that Darth Vader played a role. Okay, so what I wanted from that is Darth Vader to come across as like this unstoppable brute that they just have no way of dealing with. Like the characters in the film have no way of dealing with. The only way that anyone in the Star Wars universe has of dealing with someone like Darth Vader is, being as good at using the Force and using a lightsaber as he is.
Yeah.
And this film was not going to feature any of those things or characters who are capable of those things. And so I was confident that he would be a sort of wrecking ball, angry, sort of evil presence, right? And there's a 30-second scene at the end where Darth Vader boards a rebel ship and a group of rebel soldiers get trapped in a corridor with him. And for like 30 seconds, that was amazing. Like it's like watching, like you have a certain opinion of Darth Vader when the first time you see him in A New Hope, just because he's a giant man in a big black suit and he's scary and he like picks people up, throws them around and all that sort of thing. But you can tell that he has a certain reputation.
Yeah.
And this is like you're watching him earn his reputation, or like live up to it at the very least. Like even in the previous Star Wars films, you don't really see him just like massacre a group of people just because he can. And he does, and that's amazing. I loved that scene. I just wish that came like 20 minutes into the film, and then he loomed over the rest of the film as like they're constantly worried about Darth Vader turning up. Like, because that would have been amazing. That would have added such a great.
He's a bit
deal
more of a
tension.
compelling character than Orson Krennic.
Yeah. So he's Orson Krennic again. Ben Mendelsohn is an amazing actor. He's been in films like Animal Kingdom, where he's terrifying and like a really unsettling on-screen presence. In this, he's just like a sort of the first scene where you see him is good, and he's sort of like, he says, "Oh, we're gonna, you need to come back because we're gonna build a Death Star, and it's gonna bring peace to the galaxy."
Yeah.
And he's like, you're confusing peace with terror. And Krennic says, "Well, you've got to start somewhere." And it's just like that arrogant sort of fascist ideal.
Exactly.
Right. That's cool. With the rest of the film, he's a bit of a simpering, like nothing presence, basically.
Because as soon as Grand Moff Tarkin comes along, it's like
the CGI Grand Moff Tarkin. Yeah,
it's actually very good CGI.
It is very good CGI, but it's not. It's enough to take you out the film still. I think, because you're going, that's Grand Moff Tarkin, but I know that Peter Cushing's died 30 years ago, so they've CGI'd that. Let me just look in minute detail at the CGI now and not actually just sort of take it in.
Yeah.
But anyway, that Darth Vader scene, great. There's a certain level of brutality through the film, which is what I wanted again, because obviously you know that they succeed in the mission, so the plot should be, here are some characters for you to care about, and you're worried about what happens to them. And they all die, which is what I wanted. Like, I wanted it to be a sort of Cold War movie.
A Cold War movie?
Well,
sorry. The Hunt for the Red October.
Yeah, exactly. And K2SO is a good character, as you alluded to in the synopsis. He's funny, he's an engaging on-screen presence, he has personality and wit, which is something that we liked so much about The Force Awakens, which is sorely lacking in the rest of this film.
Yes. He's the only comic relief, basically.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Everyone else is just like moaning and soulless.
Yes. So what did you think was good about the film?
K2SO, like you said.
Yeah.
That's about it. No, not really. I really like the scenes when they're on Jeddah.
Okay.
Those like miniature skirmish battle scenes.
Yeah, like guerrilla warfare.
Yeah, because there's some heft to it, and you think anything can happen, kind of thing.
Yeah. And it's sort of. Do you think it's supposed to be alluding to sort of present day?
Yes, I think that's
Middle Eastern.
Well, that's what it reminds you, because it's like a car bombing or like
yeah.
It's kind of like a roadside IED or something, you know.
Yeah.
Like you see in Iraq, like you see on the news all the time.
Yes.
But this is the actual chaos of like what it would be like if it went off.
Yes.
I mean, it is sold through the filter of
Star Wars,
little furry men and stormtroopers. But
there's something quite it's quite a stark visual image where you see that city that's walled in and the Star Destroyer hovering above it.
Yeah,
that's quite a stark, interesting visual image.
Yeah, and the city starts crumbling and getting blown to bits by like what could be shellings.
Yeah,
but it's actually like laser guns. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah,
that's good. What's bad about it? I hear you ask. A lot more.
Right.
The fan service. I mean, the whole film by its existence is fan service.
Yeah, but then there's fan service and then there's fan service, and like as you say, the film's mere existence is fan service. It's like, let's see what happened in this sort of hitherto untold portion of Star Wars history. Right, that is fan service because fans are going to be interested in that. Right, that's fine by me. What isn't so fine is the like awful, clunky cameos by all and sundry, like the Mos Eisley thugs turning up in Jeddah. Which we made some predictions to one another in before we went into the film, and I said there'll be at least one awful fan service cameo. This happened like 10 minutes into the film, and we were looking at each other like miming being sick because it was so bad. Like he basically says the same lines, like my friend doesn't like you, like
he bumps into him and you think, oh, maybe it's the same species.
No,
the other guy's with him. And then but 10 minutes later the planet gets blown up.
So they
must have been on their way to a shuttle to leave and then go to Mos Eisley directly.
C-3PO and R2-D2 popping up for like 2 seconds.
Oh, they're going to don't tell me anything.
I don't need to see them.
No.
It's not about them at all. The X-Wing pilots, who I didn't even... X-Wing and Y-Wing pilots, who I didn't even realise are much in the same way as Peter Cushing is resurrected to play Grand Moff Tarkin. They've got like, you know, the actual X and Y wing pilots from Episode 4,
right,
flying the X-wings.
Well, with the Force stand by. Those guys.
It went over my head completely, I have to say. And I've seen A New Hope probably dozens of times. Right? K2SO saying, I've got a bad feeling about this. Yeah. That's... like, each time one of these happened, a little piece of me lost faith. A big piece of me lost faith in the film. And it sort of eroded my confidence in the film. Because there are good scenes in it. Like, the war... like... The invasion basically in the third act is good, I think. Yeah. The invasion of Scarif, sort of like Normandy landings, is obviously what it's trying to evoke with the sort of shoreline attack and all that sort of thing. That's all interesting stuff. There's some cool things like you see an AT-AT walker, but it's like shot from handheld height. And, you know, it's like that gives it a bit of a sense of scale, and that's quite impressive. And,
and, you know, it's a bit more of like a war journalism sort of thing.
Yeah. Like all those sorts of things are good. But just like the whole film overall, I think is lacking in soul. Yeah. And, you know, there's been a lot of like pointed fingers at Disney that they're going to turn Star Wars into like a cash cow. And I sort of didn't... Well, I sort of had some faith in it after The Force Awakens, and after this I think those fears are justified. And like I'm still really looking forward to episode 8 and 9. I think they'll be good. You're gonna be
first in line for the Han Solo standalone.
That is the Han Solo anthology movie. What are the other ones? Boba Fett and
Yoda.
Yeah,
it's what we want, mate. Boba Fett's had about 10 minutes of screen time across 7 movies. Yeah. What he needs is his own film.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like probably 10% of the fan base probably consider Boba Fett their favourite character. And so what will improve upon that is laborious explanation of his backstory across a bland 2-hour film. But like, you know, the cameos, the X-Wing and Y-Wing pilots and things, recognition is not enough to, like... I shouldn't have to recognise these things to get an enjoyment out of this film.
And just by recognising them, you shouldn't be going, yep, that makes it a good film.
Tick, that makes it a good film. Right? So, like, I see people online, like, you know, on Twitter and other public forums and things who have been talking about the film and how much they loved it. It's like, oh, I loved it. They had the actors playing the X-Wing pilots. Oh, I loved it. The thug guys from episode 4 turn up. It's like, just doesn't unilaterally make it a good movie. Yeah. Like, I had the same problem when I went to see Avengers 2. Right. And I'm not that into Marvel films. Like, they're good popcorn entertainment.
You got the tattoo.
I do, but like one of several dozen. Yeah. One of which is my Rogue One like sleeve that I'm currently getting done. But I went with my friend who is much more into the Marvel stuff, and he has like a Marvel encyclopedia and loves it, right? And it's like, oh, they go to Africa in one scene to meet some character played by Andy Serkis, who's like an arms dealer. And I'm just like, okay, there's an Andy Serkis and all that. But like, my friend's like, oh, this is great. He's a character from the comics. And he's in a fight scene and someone breaks his arm. And he's like, oh, that's really clever, because they're setting up that the character in the comics, he comes back later and he's got a metal arm. It's like, what? Like, like, I don't... Yeah. What am I supposed to be? And like, they're going, oh yeah, like there's a shot of a map, and one of the countries is, Organaland, and that's where the Black Panther comes from. It's like, I don't fucking know any of it. Like, why am I supposed to just have to do all this research to get something out of your film?
Fill in the blanks, yeah.
Yeah. Like, you could watch... This is supposed to be a standalone story in the Star Wars universe.
Can you imagine?
Standalone.
Can you imagine you'd never seen a Star Wars movie? Yeah. Right? That last 10 minutes would be like, what the fuck's happening?
Yeah. Just a woman in a white dress.
Who's that guy with the red sword? Yeah. And who's that with the end who wants hope?
Yeah. No, why is that guy who's in one scene for 2 minutes earlier in the film, who lives in a castle in a lava land, like fucking Bowser from Super Mario, Right? Why is he suddenly turning up with a sword? Imagine, oh God.
That's your father's lightsaber.
Yeah, I think my problem with the film is that it disappointed me, and I think it disappointed me because there was the potential to tell an interesting, compelling, like human side to the Rogue One mission, right? Through Jyn and her father's relationship. And Mads Mikkelsen is an amazing actor. I'm fucking sounding like a broken record here. He's an amazing actor. He's in 2 scenes, and they kill off the most interesting human component to the narrative halfway through the movie when he dies. And I think from that point onwards, I was basically like, well, I know what's going to happen now. Like, I know the ending to this story, so there's no... Like, I know she succeeds in her mission.
So Ron Howard was interviewed after he made Apollo 13.
Yeah.
And they said, how did you make it so compelling when we all know what happens with Apollo 13?
Yeah.
It's a real story. And he said, you just write their families in.
Yeah, you show their families looking worried, right? Like, imagine how much better it would have been if Mads Mikkelsen was all the way through the film.
Yeah.
You know, you'd have that, like, maybe Jyn is on the mission to take the Death Star plans, but she's under orders not to try and rescue her father, and then she disobeys them. Maybe her crew go with her, and they end up somehow miraculously getting hold of the plans. You know, like, there's so much potential to that, and I think they just wasted it.
Yeah.
And the second reason I think it disappointed me is because it was a chance to show Darth Vader, as I said, as like this blunt force of nature, and he's in like 1 scene, and we're never going to get that now. We're never going to get that show of Vader's strength unless you watch. You know, I know there's Star Wars Rebels and all that, like,
yes,
but I have no interest in that, and that's like I'm not going to go watch a kids show, which that might be harsh, but you know, like I don't.
A show for idiots.
A show for morons and nerds. Yeah. I'm not going to watch that nerd shit for cunts. It's just made for scum. Just made for subhuman scum.
Pond life.
Yeah, just dirt.
Parasites.
Just, do you know what? Fuck them. And anyone who watches Star Wars Rebels.
I don't even know. I'm only hearing about it for the first time here, so I think I'm safe.
Fuck cartoon.
Is it?
Yeah. Yeah. So I just think it was a squandered opportunity.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, do you know what all these problems remind me of?
Go on.
Gareth Edwards, obviously, made the film.
Yeah.
Previously, he made another film, didn't he?
Yeah. So, yeah.
Godzilla.
We went to see it
when it came out.
Many years ago now, before we started the podcast. Yeah. How I wish we were doing the podcast at the time.
God almighty. It's like, that's the exact same thing. Like, you go in, you have expectations. It's a Godzilla movie. What you want is Godzilla smashes up the town.
Yeah.
Army tries to fight him. Big explosions.
Yeah.
And then you have a human element as well. Oh, yeah. Bryan Cranston's in the movie.
Yeah.
That's good.
Aaron Taylor-Johnson's in the movie. Yeah. He's a good actor.
Yeah. Do you know what?
Elizabeth Olsen as well. She's good.
The strained relationship between father and son, that would play really well.
Yeah.
Bryan Cranston dead within 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And you're like, right, I don't trust Aaron Taylor-Johnson to carry this movie.
But he's a good actor as well. But he's just like bland. Like, he's not interested in the film.
Yeah.
And he's in it. He's the star.
Yeah.
And it's the same with Felicity Jones in this. So like his first film, Monsters, right, just for a change of pace, Joe, it's about a sort of giant scale, continental size sort of monstrous invasion,
right,
that's happened years ago. So like this giant macro sci-fi story, right? But there's also a human element to it, right? So it's on like a micro scale as well, right? But it actually works, like, and it's Scoot McNairy and I forget the girl's name. It's like a couple basically going through the quarantine zone. Okay. And it's a human, like micro telling of like a wider story.
Right. But 28 years later, something like that.
Yeah, exactly like that. Yeah.
That works. Godzilla doesn't work.
No.
The thing is, Godzilla, like you said, Aaron Taylor-Johnson is the main character. The main character should be Godzilla. Yeah. And the main character in Rogue One should be Darth Vader. Yeah. Not whoever the fuck. Like.
Yeah. Jyn Erso.
Yeah. Oh, man. They just listened to us when they made these films, honestly. Gareth, give me a text next time you're sat down making a film. Give me a text. I'll tell you what to do.
I'd imagine some people listen to our review of The Force Awakens, our podcast about The Force Awakens, and
I mean,
thought we
most
were
people-
sycophants.
Yeah, hundreds of thousands of people probably listen to that.
Yeah, like millions probably by now. And thought we were sycophants. Like we loved it because it was Star Wars.
Yeah.
I think this is proof that we're not. We have some critical distance when it comes to Star Wars and the new Star Wars films.
Yeah.
And like where does this rank in the Star Wars films for you? Like you don't have to. Number one is this, but you know, like I don't have to chart them exactly.
Well, the prequels are all dog shit, and I hate them.
Yeah, obviously.
Although the least stinky of the bunch is Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah. I think this is still
the darkest of them.
I still think this is better than Revenge of the Sith.
This sits above them. I think it's probably worse than all the others.
Yeah, I think I don't really like Return of the Jedi.
No.
It might be on the level with that.
Really?
Same level as that. Maybe.
I'd put it between. The prequels are just like the bottom.
Garbage. Yeah.
This is 4 out of 10. In Star Wars terms.
Yeah. Okay. Fine. What and what like A New Hope is 10 out of 10 to you?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
9.5.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So actually rate them then. No. Like I think it's better than the prequels, but
I feel like
I think we're disappointed. I think that's why we seem like I'm sure it seems like we're coming down really harsh on it, but I'm just disappointed.
Yeah, I wanted a good film, and I got a okay film.
Yeah. So it's like I read the marketing that said it's a gritty war film about the Star Wars universe, and I was like, that sounds like something I'd really like, and I just didn't. That's sort of it.
That's your fault, mate.
Yeah, it's because I don't know who fucking Dr. Kavalnik or whatever his name is.
Yeah. Oh, to be fair, do you think like kids are going to be like playing with this fucking name?
Saw Gerrera. Or, Chewit Imu.
Chewit Imu or Baze.
Is it Chewit Imu or Skittle Baze? Or
no, it's Baze. Where is he? Baze Malbus. How could you forget that?
Yeah, sorry.
Baze Malbus.
Baze Malbus.
Baze Malbus, and it's
Bazy.
It's basic. That's what it is.
Basic bitch.
Well, I think we've said enough.
Yeah. Stop the podcast there. But oh no, wait, Joe.
How, Chris, if you were on the Rogue One ship?
Yeah.
As it made its way into
Scarif.
What would you do to survive?
Well, unlike your suggestion, I'm going to take a different tact.
Okay.
Because it is essentially the Empire that lose out as a result of this
film.
Well,
there's heroes on both sides.
There are, yeah. Orson Krennic, he's a star. Basically, just utilise your assets properly. If you're the Empire, you've got you clearly got seemingly infinite wealth.
Yes,
for a start. But also you've got access to an incredibly powerful weapon. Yeah. And that's Darth Vader. Yeah. Basically, he's unstoppable, isn't he? Essentially, like as long as there's not a Jedi there. He's unstoppable.
As long as there's not one specific Jedi.
His son, who at this point is like 15 and living in a hut on a desert. He's basically unstoppable. So, just why wouldn't you just send him in all the time? He's not doing anything. He's literally sitting in a fish tank. Yeah. In his castle.
Well, maybe there's a reason for that. Maybe he needs to do that like for that 360 days of the year.
This sets in motion the fall of the Empire. So there will never be anything as important as this moment for the Empire. I know they don't necessarily know that, right? But they basically find out that their engineer built a flaw into their super weapon. Yeah. And that is a big problem for them if their enemy gets hold of those details. Yeah, that's true. Because they don't know what it is either. It's not like they go, oh, you mean that giant big fucking target that's painted on the side? Yeah. Like they don't know what it is. So, yeah. Like, they should just send Darth Vader in. Like, the rebels start invading Scarif, just send Darth Vader in.
Yeah.
Just mop them up. Like,
Well, he can't be in more than one place at once.
well, yeah, but where is it? Like, what has he got that's more important going on? Like, they send him in, but you say he can't be in more than one place, but he turns up. He gets on their ship at the end.
Yeah, because he's in one place. That's where he is.
Yeah, but, like, why send him down to the planet?
He's not on the planet. He's got to get there.
What, so he arrives and then immediately gets on the rebel ship?
Yeah.
But they don't say that. Krennic says, my troops will take care of the people on the ground, and Darth Vader will take care of the fleet.
Yeah.
He's your best asset.
But he's the greatest pilot in the galaxy. We know that. That's established.
Yeah, but we don't see him flying around in a TIE fighter shooting shit up.
Maybe he's admiral. Maybe he's like telling people what to do.
You see him on you see him on a Star Destroyer. He's just milling about.
Yeah. But so you say get out there in a TIE fighter.
Basically, it's like having like your fucking best fighter just in reserve until it's too late. I would just be sending him in constantly.
Well, so
it's not
you've
like
got
Darth Vader's.
like you've got a football player.
Yeah.
Scoring goals for fun. 10 goals a game.
You don't keep,
and you put him on the bench.
Yeah, you don't keep Leo Messi on the bench,
Yeah.
do you? Or Jay Rodriguez.
Yeah.
Like, you don't keep them on the bench, those sorts of world-class players.
Yeah.
So, it's mad. It's madness. I will never understand it. And I'm glad that they all blew up.
It really was the end of the film. I mean, literally. And as soon as one goes, you go, right, so they're all going to die, are they?
Yeah. Well,
Next
the
one goes.
Rogue One squad.
Yeah. So I think it was the first one to go was old Chiwetel.
Yeah. No, it's the pilot, isn't it? The turncoat pilot.
Bodhi.
Yeah.
Bodhi goes, then
Chewett. Then Baze.
Baze goes. And then you're like, well, okay, they're all going to die.
K2SO.
Get on with it then.
Then...
Like, just cut to the... If I could skip forward 10 minutes, I bloody would. It was so boring.
But, like, again... if they wanted to make what would be a more exciting film, they're fighting everyone on the beaches and stuff. You got your blind monk. Maybe he's like fighting some stormtroopers, beating them up with his sticks, like he does earlier on in the film.
Yeah.
Turns around, Darth Vader's there. Now he's in trouble. He's force sensitive, but he's not a match for Darth Vader, who we see like squashing someone against the ceiling like a bug.
Yeah.
Like,
but I mean,
just asset.
And Anakin the Man was a great pilot, not a
Yeah.
great hand-to-hand combatter.
Well, he demonstrates the fact that he's a hand-to-hand combatter by hand-to-hand combating a load of soldiers to death.
Yeah, that's not really a fair fight.
Yeah, but what do you mean? They've all got guns.
Yeah, but he's got a shield against guns.
Yeah, but so send him in against all the people with guns.
Fair enough. Yeah.
He's also got mind powers, so if they like fire a rocket at him, he can just like swat it away.
That's true.
Just like asset assignment. That's all I'm saying. Is it was lacking from the Empire.
Bit of tactical
nous.
Yeah. Fair enough. All right, I can't argue with you. Get old Darthy out earlier.
Yeah. Although I wonder if it's a bit like sort of, you don't go wading in with your queen at the start of a game of chess, do you?
Oh.
To kill all the pawns.
You don't. That's a well-used tactic by me.
Well, then, there you go. And you're a chess grandmaster.
Grandmaster Tarkin, they call me. Yeah. Play a lot of chess, do you?
No.
So here's my first piece of advice. And this goes for, literally everyone on Earth.
Okay. Earth.
Anywhere in any galaxy, if
right.
you're working with data, back it up, man.
Yeah.
They teach you that in like year 7.
Do they not have the internet?
Yeah.
Like, or any sort of wireless communication? I think that's one way that the film really shows its sort of the fact that it's indebted to like a series of films that were made in the 70s.
Yeah.
Like,
they haven't thought of the internet.
Yeah. But there's a scene where a character has to like run across a battlefield to plug something in. Just like, log onto the Wi-Fi, mate.
We'll throw something.
Yeah, password's probably like, Krennic 123.
Yeah. But I mean, at the end of the day, their data gets destroyed by bombs going off and stuff and tearing it up.
Yeah.
Just back it up. If that was in the cloud, there'd be no problem, would there?
That is true. Yeah. Wireless backup, like some sort of automatic thing.
And whole planets getting destroyed isn't a rare thing in the Star Wars universe.
No. Also, like the same goes for the Rebels, surely. Like they have it on basically one USB stick, don't they?
Yeah.
And they just like run off with it.
Yeah. Just broadcast that to like 3 places rather than just one.
Like I'm pretty sure you could. Like Morse code is essentially. Even that is like a way of transmitting data wirelessly. They're able to talk to one another like constantly. So it beggars belief that, and they're using like state of the art computers and spacecraft. Like, it beggars belief that they can't just.
They have hologram phones.
Yeah, exactly. They should be able to just beam that to someone else.
Yes, that's correct. Silly stuff, really. But that's my idea. Back up your data, so then when the rebels come and destroy it, you won't be in trouble.
Yeah, because then they could have analysed the data themselves, found the flaw, that sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
Our favourite character of the film, Joe? K2SO. He takes a lot more punishment than any of the other characters, doesn't he? Gets shot.
He's a droid, isn't he?
Numerous times, yeah. Why don't they just use droids?
They've only got one.
Yeah, but what, are they expensive?
They've only got one. They have to capture it.
Yeah. There are plenty of droids around. You see them all the time, especially Imperial ones. They're walking through Jeddah and stuff. They're all over the place. Yeah, but you even see an identical replica of K2SO, right? And K2SO single-handedly, having been rewired, kills about 50 stormtroopers with one gun.
Yeah.
So why don't you just send loads of droids in?
Because you've only got one.
Yeah, but get some more then.
Right. Well, that does work nicely with my next idea, which is for K2SO, when he does capture several droids himself, reprogram them himself.
Yeah.
Then you've got 5 droids.
Yeah. You see him using his like appendage thing in the brain of another K2SO model, basically. Like, but why can't they all just be just reprogram every single one that you encounter, and then pretty soon you've got a droid army. And it's not like the droid army in Phantom Menace where it's like all controlled by satellite. Oh, they had wireless data back then, but not now. They're all like individual people, but they follow orders.
Yeah. Yes.
And they're like super soldiers.
And they're not afraid to kill.
Yeah, so are they like expensive, or like is it cheaper than they are to train a human?
What you don't realise is the fuel they have is blood, human blood.
It's liquid gold.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, like why not just build a droid army by reprogramming every single Imperial droid that you see?
Come across.
Yeah, like you said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
How about this? You design a massive magnet.
Yeah.
Which just like picks them all up.
Yeah.
And then you just fly off to like some other place.
I'd love to see that in a Star Wars film.
Yeah.
Yeah. That'd be amazing. Yeah. Just suck the data out of the planet with a big magnet.
Yeah.
Easy.
That would have worked as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. My last thought on...
Hang on. They're able to wirelessly transmit the data because she gets to the top of a tower and then beams it.
Yep.
Why don't they just beam it from that ship to other places? Doesn't work like that.
No, of course not.
No?
Because by that time it's on a hard drive.
It gets written to a hard drive.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
So maybe they were trying to do that, but then Vader came in. Fucked them up.
What, so they pulled the data out while it was copying? That's a bad idea though, isn't it? Because you could end up with corruption.
Maybe it was on the computer on the ship, and the guy goes, "Oh, Vader's on the way here.
Right.
Let me
stick it on a USB
to a physical disk,
and I'll upload it to WeTransfer as we're going." Okay. And then the ship got destroyed before it went to WeTransfer.
Yeah. And he got the disk off.
Right.
And then Leia was like, "Oh, this is hope.
this
is hope.
This is episode 4."
So my next thought, Chris, on How to Survive.
Yeah.
If you're Galen, what's his name? Jyn Erso.
Yeah.
And you're sending a message to your old pal
Saw Gerrera. How can you not? They slip off the tongue like Han Solo, Saw Gerrera, Luke Skywalker, Galen Erso.
you're sending a message, a little video hologram thing to Saw Gerrera. Why don't you just send him the Death Star plans? Or in your message go, by the way.
But he doesn't have the Death Star plans. He's in the rainy planet, and the Death Star plans are kept remotely for some reason.
How does he work on them?
Mate, I don't know. I do not know.
Because he goes...
Why not?
The video message is basically, I've put something in the Death Star plans that will help you kill it.
Yes.
Then that's the message.
Yeah.
And you have to go to him to find out where the Death Star plans are. Well, you just go, the Death Star plans are on that planet over there. Yeah. Don't bother coming to me. Leave me out of this. I've done all I can.
But isn't that the problem is that they're not going to find like one 6 foot by 6 foot thing. Like you could say in the message, I've built an exhaust port into it that's going to blow it up. Like they're not going to find one, 2 meter gap in the thing that's the size of a moon.
Yeah. Use the Force.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, get Chewett Imwe on the X-wing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can they breathe in space? Anyone?
No, I don't think so.
Do they have spacesuits? Never see one, do you?
No, not one with a breathing apparatus.
So you can just get Chewett out there, walk around it for a bit. He'd find it soon enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He could beat up any of the gun turrets with his stick.
I believe in the Force believes in me.
Yeah.
So that was Rogue Un, as the French would call it.
Yeah.
Rouge Un. Did you enjoy it?
I wonder if because I might go see it again.
I think I'm gonna go see it again.
Yeah.
I think I haven't been fair to it.
Yeah. So I wonder if I'll feel differently. But I think though we may have come across as slightly sort of pantomime in our dislike of it, I think it is a film with a lot of problems. And they are problems that I felt about Gareth Edwards' previous movies as well. Yeah. So it's not like it's come out of nowhere, I guess.
Godzilla.
Yes.
Remaking that now as well. So
yep. Probably.
King Kong versus Godzilla. Look forward to that in about 2020.
Yeah, that'd be good. That'd be good, that one.
They can't mess that up.
Can't.
That concept can't be messed up.
Exactly.
As long as Gareth Edwards is attached to direct, we're in good hands. They would be have some like amazing actor in it.
Yeah.
Like Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah.
And
he'll go, hello, there's Godzilla over there.
Oh, Godzilla's over there. Oh, look, King Kong's over there.
Yeah. Oh no, this is really bad.
Oh no. Beauty killed the beast. Oh,
yeah.
no.
Oh dear. What have we got next week, Joe?
Next week, Chris, we're keeping the space theme going.
Yeah.
The second of our space trilogy.
Yeah, it's the first episode of 2017. So what are we covering? Is it a hot new movie? Is it something to do with rebirth or new beginnings?
In many ways, it's a new beginning for all of us.
Yes.
As we step back in time to 1997 for a movie that is now 20 years old.
Yeah.
Event Horizon.
Yes.
If you haven't seen Event Horizon, it's on Netflix. UK version. Probably others as well. Filipino version. Argentinian version.
Argentine listeners.
Yeah. Go listen and enjoy.
Yeah.
And report back here next week for some top draw analysis and thoughts on how we'd survive that too. And if you've got thoughts on how you'd survive it, the email address to reach out to us on is HowToSurviveShow@gmail.com.
Yeah.
And you can also find us on Twitter @HowToSurvivePod.
Yes.
If you've enjoyed what you've heard today, or even if you haven't, perhaps you could leave us a 5-star review on iTunes or anything which you use to listen to podcasts on.
Yes.
And finally, do us a favour and recommend us to a friend. If you've got any friends who like top drawer criticism.
Yeah, it really is the post-Christmas gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah. It's not too late to give Christmas gifts anyway.
No.
So we'll see you next week.
Until then, Joe, you're a podcaster, aren't you?
Yeah.
Podcast.
What's that?
It's from the trailer where she goes, you're rebels, aren't you? Rebel.
It's not in the film. Didn't make it.
No. See you later.